Welcome to the Weekly Blend for movie, TV, video games, and comics. I am Corey Burris.
I'm Lasse Lund.
I'm Greg Santee.
And I'm Sam Messina.
And we're here to give our top 5 of 2010, and we are covering this time video games, which is like my favorite pastime ever.
I think all the
Pretty
favorite
sure that's
pastime.
all of our favorite pastimes.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it. I'll start with my list. Number 5 for me was Heavy Rain. It was because it really did something different than any other video game had done before it. Not the greatest experience overall, but I love that game. Number 4 for me was Black Ops. We're still playing it. The new maps reinvigorated my love for Call of Duty. Number 3 for me, God of War 3. Best action game I think I've ever played. Like just like how they pieced all the pieces together and kind of, it was, to me, it was nearly perfect. Number 2 for me was Red Dead Redemption. It almost made number 1 for me, and the reason it didn't make number 1 was because Mexico. That actually is exactly what.
Thank you.
The very beginning where you're in the farm and I felt like you were doing a lot of these mundane tasks, and then Mexico where it just kind of stretched on for way too long. But like the co-op was awesome and it was just an incredible movie or video game. And it felt like a movie.
Felt like a movie.
Yeah,
It
and it had
yeah.
just had the Number 1 for me, and I actually wavered again on this, was Mass Effect 2. And I think that what kind of pushed it over the line was the fact that I had played Mass Effect 1 and I brought in all of that experience, and my experience was still, it had those elements of Heavy Rain where it was like each one of our experiences was a little bit different, yet it had this amazing narrative like Red Dead Redemption, and yet it was still fun to play. So,
Groovy.
My number 5 for 2010 was Call of Duty Black Ops. Great multiplayer. It's the game that we play to hang out, so good game. My number 4 was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. My favorite Assassin's Creed of the whole series. I loved the building up your team and utilizing them in combat, and I mean the story was brisk and it was good. I didn't expect that from a one-year turnover game, and it was just great. My number 3 was Heavy Rain, and just like Corey said, you know, it's something new. Great narrative. I mean, it had me strung along the whole time. Just everything about that narrative was incredible. So
and then comparing our stories afterwards. That was like
Yes,
the coolest thing. Like to
it
come in
was.
and go, Greg,
Yeah.
where were you? What happened
Yeah.
to
I'm
you?
still devastated that all 4 of the main characters died in my playthrough.
That's so
and I can never get that back. Number 2, Red Dead Redemption. Another game with a phenomenal narrative. One of the best endings of a video game I've ever experienced. Just great. And the margins between my top 3 are just so minuscule too. I kind of like you. I had a hard time like which one really deserves it. But the number 1 goes to Mass Effect 2. Like you said, bringing the first game together and the second game into the second game, the decisions you poured over, how they structured, you know, the recreation of Shepard at the beginning, and just everything you experienced in that game. Every aspect of it as a game, from the gameplay to the narrative to, you know, the leveling up, everything was just so wonderful, and the conversation options. So definitely Mass Effect 2 deserves it.
Sweet. My number 5 was Call of Duty Black Ops.
Hey, there you go.
It was.
I was thinking Final Fantasy IX.
Kind of odd to
Yeah.
never play Black Ops.
And I haven't played it as of late, but for
3 months.
2010, it was. I thought it was really well done. They did enough changing from Modern Warfare 2, or not different companies obviously, but differences from Modern Warfare 2 that really added to it. And I thought it was very well defined.
Wager matches, anybody?
I was just about my next
Sorry,
one was
didn't
wager
mean to steal your
matches.
thunder.
It's all right. Loved it.
Plus the single player. I mean,
It's a great
Single player. I mean,
it was still good though. Like
It was good. I mean, but it didn't take away from my score for it, if that's what you're asking, you know.
Well, no.
But it was a good game, and I thought they did a lot of good things with it. Number 4 is Red Dead Redemption, and the reason it's not higher on my list is because obviously Mexico sucked, and then from Mexico on, I had a really hard time staying interested in that game. I was like racing through it because I did not want to play it anymore.
Once
And
I got
that's the
back to
problem.
the U.S., that wasn't a
But
problem.
but even when I got back to the U.S., the first half of the game, phenomenal, and I absolutely loved it. And that's why it's on my list, is because the game as a whole is really good. It's just when I hit that point, I started to waver really bad and could not find drive to play it. My number 3 was Heavy Rain. And yes, having those discussions at the end of the game, finding out who died, who didn't die, it was such a great experience. Even though I don't think I'll ever probably play through the whole game again, I regret trading
I don't
it
think
in.
people should play through it again.
But
I think you should have
wanted
that
to go
one
back
singular
and
experience.
play moments of it, and they were supposed to be
You can do
releasing
that.
chapters. I mean, you can, but I wish I would have kept it so I could have done that.
Hmm.
But they are releasing other chapters, or supposedly releasing more chapters for it. That would have been a cool additional experience to it. My number 2, and this is my wild card, which is Dante's Inferno. I just absolutely loved playing that
Which
game.
you told me before, more than God of War 3.
More than I love God of War 3, but playing
'Cause this is
Dante's
the
Inferno.
knockoff.
This is the knockoff.
You like the knockoff better than the,
for
brand
me,
name?
beat out the brand name. Yeah, the
amazing.
I
generic
wonder
brand.
who made that? Visceral Games?
I know.
Yeah.
It's a trend.
But just the way they integrated different ways of combat that strayed from God of War's formula, with specifically with the cross,
Mhm.
was so much fun. And I don't know, it was different enough to where it hooked me in, and it's a really gritty game, but just it was a cool thing, and I really loved
You
playing
just
it.
like seeing the devil's member.
Oh, that was pretty nasty. Yeah, that was probably a not cool thing. And my number 1 is Mass Effect 2. Shocker. But here's the thing. The thing that's different for me is I didn't play Mass Effect 1, and you guys did, and I adored this game more than any game last year. It was so engaging for the story.
Did you feel like you
from
were
the
lost?
combat. No. Well, and I didn't even read the things they tell you, the top 10 things you should know before playing Mass Effect
Yeah.
2. I didn't even read that. And it's just you pay attention to it and you start understanding. Oh, here's the who the races are, and you
Yeah.
start to understand that. The only thing that you are missing is who's Rex. You don't understand who certain people are until
Right.
until you talk.
You
to
are
somebody.
missing out on a really great narrative. You need to go back and play the first one.
Well, that's what I say, but it's obviously apparently painful to go through if you play Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to do it, but I will definitely play Mass Effect 3. Anyway, Mass Effect 2 is my number 1.
All right, my list. My number 5 is Dead Rising 2. I love killing zombies. I love the new combo card system where you can combine, different weapons to make a new weapon. The co-op is amazing in that game. It's such a blast to just jump in there and not really worry about much other than let's make crazy weapons and see how many zombies we can kill in half an hour. So yeah, that was a great game. My number 4 is Red Dead Redemption, and the reason it's not higher on my list is I feel like the campaign was really good, except for the middle. I agree with that. But the co-op, I feel like there wasn't enough variety for the co-op, so that kind of stopped.
It
me.
dried up quick.
It was a good game. I had fun. The gameplay was great, but yeah. So my number 3, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I agree with you, Lassa. That's probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game. And the fact that they were able to add in this multiplayer that isn't the greatest multiplayer I've ever played, but
Still
it's enjoyable,
really cool.
but does not take away from the single player experience.
Yeah.
That just, that's
And they were able
points.
to do it in a year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, they had a team of like 150
Yeah.
Yeah,
people
that's true.
working
They
on
had
it.
lots of money.
It was a great teamwork.
And they were working on it while Assassin's Creed 2 was being made.
Sure.
So it makes it a little easier.
My number 2 is Battlefield, Bad Company 2. In my opinion, the best military first-person shooter I've ever played. I'm definitely a big team player. I don't like to just run in and get lots of kills. I mean, that's fun, but I'm always more in the let's be a squad, let's work together. And I love how Battlefield forces you to actually work as a squad. If you want to win, you need to play your role. You can't just run around with a gun, sprinting in circles,
And
jumping
it's
in
fun
the air.
that you can play your role and still have the full experience. Whereas like
still progress
if
your
Call of
roles.
Duty Black Ops, it's like your kill death ratio matters.
Yep.
Like I didn't
Yeah.
care. And
Yeah, Battlefield is just it's a better social experience to
Absolutely.
me. A lot more working together. My number 1 is Mass Effect 2. Just an amazing experience. And I'm not a really big RPG guy, but this one, it just it meshes third-person action and RPG, and it's a great story. It's got the whole sci-fi thing going for it. Visually, it's gorgeous. Just the amount of options and detail in that game.
Not to mention great DLC.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
the DLC
gosh,
is
that's
amazing.
great.
So
By unanimous verdict.
Mass Effect 2 is our
obvious.
game of the year. It'll be interesting. We should talk about on the podcast sometime what we want for Mass Effect 3, because there are things now that you look back on Mass Effect 2 and you played some of these other RPG games. I'm interested to hear if there are any major changes, because there's some major things I would like them to kind of overhaul that I loved in Mass Effect 2, but I kind of feel like they could move it forward a little bit. So. You can always check out everything, including our podcast, at theweeklyblend.com. You can also check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/Corey Burris.
/Lassa1.
/Greg Santee.
and /Sam Messina.
Until next time.